Merhabalar herkese. Hepiniz IEFTalks Webinarları'na hoş geldiniz. Bugün İrlanda'nın en iyi üniversitesi Trinity College Dublin'de lisans ve yüksek lisans programları hakkında öğrenmeniz gereken tüm detayları Antonio'dan dinliyor olacağız. Lütfen sorularınızı soru cevap bölümünden yönlendirmeyi unutmayın. Yes, Antonio, the stage is yours now.
Marhaba, thank you very much, Zeynep, and thank you very much to IFT for giving me the opportunity to connect with all our friends from Turkey, from everywhere in Turkey. I actually go to your beautiful country very often every year, but I don't think I will be back till October, so it's fantastic to have the opportunity to be online with you. In this introduction, we are going to talk in general about Trinity, about Dublin, about Ireland, and indeed about some of the options for master programs that we have as a sample, because we have hundreds of programs that you can choose from. But the whole idea is that you learn not just about Trinity College Dublin, but about Ireland as a country as well, because when you choose to study abroad, it's a kind of a package, and everything has an importance for many different reasons that I will try to develop. But first of all, let's have a very short video that explains you what Trinity stands for and a little bit of what we consider important as an institution that has been for more than 400 years providing education to fantastic people. And I hope that some of these fantastic people will be you joining us in the next coming years.
Inspiration has lived here since 1592, and more than 400 years later, it's still going strong. Inspiration has helped burgeoning writers put pen to paper and given world leaders a head start. It has set the stage for budding playwrights and created characters that will never die. For countless actors who started here, inspiration has played a part. Work done in Trinity helped split the atom, battled cancer, and guided man's first giant leap. From here, we've inspired people around the world. But even with this proud history, we are firmly focused on the future. Today, we are making new discoveries and inspiring the next generation of history makers.
I hope that you enjoy the video. And you have seen many people that they have been studying with us since 1592. And here, there are some of the samples that you may have seen in the videos and some others that they are not. We have welcomed to Trinity people like Jonathan Swift, really well known for books like the Gulliver Travels, Oscar Wilde, probably the most famous in history, English writer, together with Shakespeare. And he was Irish and he was an Trinity student. Ernest Walton, he taught us how to split the atom. He was a Trinity student and also a Trinity academic till the time that he retired. And he got the Nobel Prize for Physics. Samuel Beckett, another writer, got the Nobel Prize for Drama. William Campbell, he got the Nobel Prize as well, in this case for medicine, even though he didn't study medicine. He studied with us biology and biomedical science, particularly specializing in zoology, and he discovered a cure for river blindness. That's why he got the Nobel Prize in medicine in 2015, because thanks to him, there are hundreds and thousands of people in the world that they can see. Mary Robinson, President of Ireland, former President of Ireland, High Commissioner for Human Rights in the United Nations, and she came from our law school, the same as Mary McAleese, that was also President of Ireland as well. Sally Rooney, if you are into reading or watching TV shows, you may be familiar with Sally Rooney. She's one of the most well-known writers in the English language in the world, under 35 years old. She's a very young writer and had out 4 books, and 2 of them have become TV shows. And the first 2 ones, Normal People and Conversation with Friends, if you have the opportunity to read them or to watch the TV shows, they are all like Trinity students. And it's around their lives and the people that they meet. Many people actually link with the television and film industry as well. Like this gentleman, Jack Leeson, that you may remember from a few years ago, when he was a child, an awful child in Game of Thrones, but he was a fantastic student, really nice man. And as a King Joffrey, he used to kill everybody as he came across. But in Trinity, he was really highly regarded as a very nice human being. We were founded in 1592. That makes Trinity one of the 7 very old universities in the English-speaking world. We have other universities like Cambridge, Oxford, Edinburgh, St. Andrews, and Trinity is one of the 7, with the peculiarity that is the only one that is in the European Union, because it's in Dublin, the capital of Ireland, and also the only one, as you will see now, that has a full historical campus in the middle of a major city. Cambridge and Oxford, if you have visited them, they are beautiful campuses, but outside of that, there is not much going on. Edinburgh University, they are in a beautiful city, but they don't have a campus. They have buildings scattered here and there. So Trinity is very unique because it has both things. And we were modeled after Cambridge and Oxford, 2 universities actually that we have a lot of history in common in many different ways. I'm not sure if any of you have been in Dublin, have been in Trinity, but if you have come to Dublin, you probably almost certain that you have been in our campus because it's also one of the main attractions for tourists. This is the campanile in front of you. This is at the entrance of the main gate of Trinity and is one of the most iconic images of Dublin. You get through these doors and you start the campus there with the campanile, and then this is Front Square. Then the campus goes on far beyond this very beginning of the campus. On the right-hand side, where you see the columns, this is actually where my office sits. So if you come to Dublin, I'll be more than happy to have a coffee or a tea with you. Although I have to say that in tea in Ireland, we can compete with the chai, although it's a little bit different. But in terms of coffee, the Turkish coffee, I think is quite unbeatable, at least to my taste. As you see, we have many historical buildings everywhere. This is the museum building, which is not a museum, but it's so beautiful that we call it like that. And you can see how it has got inspiration from many parts of the world, including potentially your country as well. The business school. This is something that you will see in the Trinity campus that is part of our history. We obviously have more than 400 years of history, but at the same time, we're still one of the top universities in the world. So we have many new buildings where we carry the research that make us one of the top universities around the world. This is the old library that on a small scale is kind of our Hagia Sophia in Ireland. We have more than 1 million visitors every year. It's the second most popular attraction in Dublin for people that they actually pay a ticket to get in. It's the biggest one-room library in Europe and the UK, but it's not just a museum that people visit, it's a functioning library. So our students, they have access to these very old books to do their research and to study. Indeed, we have many different libraries because we are the only university in Ireland that we are legal deposit since 1801. That means that every single book that has been published for the last 200 years in England, in Wales, in Scotland, in Northern Ireland, and indeed in the Republic of Ireland, we have to have a copy. Again, if you like cinema, you may have seen this library in a famous movie, because for a little while, this was the library. Some people say Harry Potter. No, it was the library of the Jedis in Star Wars. But we don't have Jedi. So if you want to come to Trinity to meet Jedis, that's not a good option. This is the location of Trinity. This is the middle of Dublin. If you haven't been there, you wouldn't know that on the right-hand side, you have Dame Street. On the right, but a little bit further up, you have Grafton Street. And on the left, you have O'Connell Street. They may not mean anything to you, but they're the 3 main streets of Dublin. And right in the middle, you have the Trinity campus. So our students enjoy a fantastic student life with many clubs, societies, and very lively campus with many things going on. But at the same time, you get out and you're in the middle of Dublin, which is a very vibrant European capital, but at the same time, very safe and very easy to navigate and with a lot of things to do. And if you like as well the nature, you can see how in the north, at the top of the image, you can see the Irish Sea and you can see the Irish Mountains. And you can notice how close they are actually from the city. Dublin, the capital, is around 1 million people. I don't know, every time I go to Istanbul, my friends, they tell me that you have 1 million people. So I was in October and many people were saying that you have 20 million inhabitants. And I was there in March and I already have somebody telling me that there is already 21 million people. So Ireland is, as a country, is much smaller, it's 5 million, and Dublin is 1 million. So 20 times smaller in terms of population than Istanbul alone. You can see Ireland there, very close to the UK and extremely well communicated with everywhere around the world. Actually, to go to Turkey, you have direct flights, quite a few of them, to Istanbul, to Izmir as well. I think during the summer also to Ankara and to many other places in Turkey as well. So you can almost go back home for a long weekend if that's what you want to do when you're a student. The population is a bit bigger now. I think I have to update this slide because it's closer to 5 million. But again, this is the whole country, not Dublin. Ireland is very well known for being a very friendly and welcoming country. And I can tell you from my own experience. I'm pretty sure that from the beginning you realize that I don't have a very strong Irish accent. And there is a very good reason. And it's because I'm not from Ireland, I'm from Spain. But I moved to Ireland around 20 years ago. And my plan was to stay for 6 months. So one of the reasons why I decided to stay is because of how easy and welcoming you feel when you come to Ireland. Also, something that is very attractive is that Ireland is the main English-speaking country in the European Union. Some people believe that in Ireland they speak Irish, but unfortunately, very few people in the country are fluent in Irish. They are native English speakers. Ireland has a very long tradition in education, which we can track back from the Middle Ages. And another thing that has been a pole of attraction is that even before Brexit, Ireland always had the euro. So that had made much easier for many multinationals around the world to make Ireland their home. Together with the fact that we have a lot of stay-back visa options. In your case, if you're doing a master's, you're coming from Turkey, and you're doing 1-year master's, you have 2 years stay-back visa to look for a job. This makes Ireland extremely attractive because you have the English-speaking country within the European Union. You can stay back, and also you have many companies, many multinationals in the IT industry, in internet, in pharmaceutical industry, medical devices, banking services, that they have made their home in Ireland for Europe, and many of these companies for Turkey as well. You have an example of some of the companies that they are in Ireland at the moment. Dublin, I was telling you that is a capital that is very manageable because it has a very human size and the population is no more than 1 million people. It's always considered extremely safe. As you see there, was the 10th safest city in the world. It's always really highly ranked as one of the preferred cities for students to study. It's a global technological hub. And that the reason is many of these multinationals I showed you before, like Facebook, Google, and so on, they have actually the headquarters around Trinity. So there is a lot of synergy between the industry and those companies, not only because we are the top university in Ireland, but also because we are neighbors with many, many of them. Culturally speaking, there are many things to do, many museums, many theaters. Ireland is a very musical country, so you have a lot of music venues as well, a lot of festivals, so there's a lot of things to do. I'm very well communicated, not just within Ireland as the capital, but everywhere in Europe. I don't know if you're familiar with Ryanair, that has been kind of the template of low-cost airline companies in the world. Ryanair is an Irish company, and from Dublin flying everywhere in Europe for usually very cheap prices. Actually, the CEO of Ryanair, that is called Michael O'Leary, he was a Trinity student, so he comes to campus quite often to talk to students. This is the campus of Trinity, and this is what I was mentioning before. Like many of these multinationals, they are really around the campus, which open up a lot of opportunities for our students to look for jobs after graduation. When you come to Trinity, you have to be aware that Trinity is an intensive research university, and research permeates everything that we do in Trinity. How do you see that? When you complete a master's in Trinity, which is 1 year, most of you will have to do a final dissertation, a final project that will have an important element of research. And this is also what makes our academic to be on top of things and to be a reference in the world in their own field and informing their teaching skills as well. What I mentioned before that previously, that Trinity has always this mix between the history and obviously being a top university in the 21st century, and how this is reflected in our buildings. You can see here. You see the old library, and you see one of the modern buildings there, which, if you pay attention, actually this one is not a research center. You may see a little man there. That is not that little, it's just a picture. That is not a Spider-Man either. This is the rock wall to climb in our gym, which is the gym of Trinity on campus, is the biggest gym in Dublin City. Trinity is one of the most international universities in the world, and this is reflected at all levels. We have more than 120 nationalities on campus. 34% of our students, they are international students, and that give a possibility to our students, first of all, obviously, to get to know the Irish culture, which is very rich and very interesting, but also to meet people from absolutely everywhere. And at the same time, to make sure that you meet some of your country fellows, in this case from Turkey, when you come to Ireland. And that's the reason why I am here, because I mean, obviously, we believe that this international education in a global world is critically important for our students, but also for us as a university. So when you come to Trinity, bringing your perspective from Turkey on different matters, that make us a better university as well. Trinity has always been the top university in Ireland since the foundation for more than 400 years, always around the top 100 best universities in the world, and it's a great platform actually to start your career as well. You get many different types of supports when you come to Trinity that they are highly valuable by a student, and you have some samples here about that. One very important one will be the career guidance in case that you want to look for a job, particularly in Ireland, after the completion of your master's. But we have also mentoring as well. So alumni that are involved helping students to have a smooth career as soon as they graduate, and many other things. When we talk to students that they graduate from Trinity, they obviously talk about the high quality education that they receive, how brilliant the academics in Trinity and the research that they carry are, but they also talk about many other things that you don't learn in the classroom. Clubs and societies you have in front of you, they are a very important part of the life of Trinity. You can practice sports from almost a professional level and the whole way down to beginner level as well. And that includes from rowing, fencing, rock climbing, as you have seen before, obviously basketball, rugby, skiing, anything. The point is that you practice the sport that you want and also meet people from everywhere, so you make sure that you have a community as soon as possible after you arrive. And in terms of society, we are particularly good. We have more than 120 different societies that they can be for anything. From knitting to playing video games to travel around Europe. You have the Turkish Society, the African Society, many things. And many of these societies as well help you to network with people, learn about other people, what they want to do with their career, maybe to develop skills that you don't develop in the classroom, like a public speaking, and also the opportunity to be inspired by fantastic people and even change your career. I believe that we are really good as societies, among other reasons, because we have been doing societies for longer than any other university in the world. As a sample here, you have the philosophical society and the historical society. These two, they are the oldest societies, student societies in the world. They are so well known that they bring like a really well-known people in their fields, invited by the student, they bring it to Trinity to talk to the students. So you can debate with them, challenge them, and learn from them. And here you have a quick sample of some of the people I've seen in my last 10 years in Trinity, from Al Pacino to Martin Scorsese, or Kate Moss, or Channing Tatum, or Angela Merkel, or Joe Biden, like a really diverse type of speakers, as you can see. You have also the Law Society, the Entrepreneurial Society, many different societies where you definitely can join and learn a lot. This is just to give you a little bit of a feeling of the breadth of all the programs that we offer in Trinity. We have 3 faculties, 24 schools, and they often offer like a dozen of different masters that you can choose from. In your case, because today the focus is for masters, I'm going to go very quickly through here. And the masters, they are, as I say, 1 year. If you want to do a master by research, that will be 2 years, and that's the way that it leads to do a PhD. We have many different programs, so I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to mention a few. If you want to study a master in law, Trinity obviously have a school of law that has been there for many, many, many years. Since 1740, one of the oldest school of law in the English-speaking world. And the options that you have, you can choose from the classic LLM, where you can pick and mix many different modules, but then you also have other masters where you can specialize, like the ones that you see there: international and cooperative law, international and European business law, and intellectual property and information technology law. And you see one program there that is MS in Law and Finance that is sitting between the School of Business and the School of Law as well. These programs, for instance, they are very popular for Turkish students and many of the ones that they want to apply for the Jean Monnet Scholarship. The Jean Monnet Scholarship is, if you're not familiar, you can research it. You have to be aware that you need to apply as soon as possible because the application, I believe, closed before the end of the year. And they sponsor more than 160 students with money from the European Union, managed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Turkey. And the idea is that you apply for programs that you can learn about the European Union as well and learn about the European policies to bring closer Turkey to the European Union. The programs within the School of Law, they involve all of them 60 ECTS credits. That's what you do when you complete the modules required. The modules, you will be doing 3 per semester, and each one of them is worth 10 ECTS credits. And then at the same time, as I was mentioning, our programs, they require to do a final piece of research, which is 1/3 of your program. And that is translated into 30 ECTS credits. I believe if Trinity is not the #1 university in Europe and the UK, it's probably the second in terms of offering many different law modules that you can choose from. I think it's around 40, as you can see there. So you pretty much can pick up whatever interests you and give you an opportunity to specialize in a particular niche within law. This is the Law and Finance program that, as you can see, has a mix between both of them, between the modules offered by the School of Law and the School of Business. Another very popular programs is the ones offered by the business school, and those ones also, many of them, they can be valid if you want to apply for the Jean Monnet Scholarship. you have a list here that actually is growing all the time. So if you check it out, probably now you will see 2 or 3 programs that they are not in this slide. This program is here because anything to do with computer science is extremely popular everywhere, and particularly in Trinity and in Ireland, considering all the multinationals in the computer science, internet, and IT that we have in the country. So my point here is if you want to apply for any of the branches of computer science that you have in front of you, like a data science, future network systems, augmented and virtual reality, intelligent system, you should apply as soon as possible because these programs get filled up very quickly. And also to explore another alternatives that they can give you actually similar career pathways, but they are not an obvious choice. And you have 3 samples here. MC in quantum science and technology, our MSc in business analytics, and a higher diploma in applied social data science. Engineering, it's very interesting to see that if you check in our website, you will see that engineering, computer science, and natural science, the 3 schools, they are under an umbrella that is called E3. E3 stands for Engineering, Emerging Technology, and Environmental Science. And the idea is like we are trying to bring these schools together to look for more and more interdisciplinary programs that they give solutions to the challenges in the 21st century. And here you have a few samples of this one. And this is even a more clear example. So this is a program in a smart and sustainable city that appeals to people coming from a background in city planning, in engineering, computer science, or even in ecology and environmental science to plan what are the futures that we want to have in the future, the cities. Any programs with energy science, obviously, is at the, and sustainability is at the core of Trinity. And this is another example of that, how we are doing more and more research in order to try to find alternatives to the traditional sources of energy. In case that somebody's interested in education, we have been doing education for quite a few hundred years. So this is a very popular program that has the Master in Education, 11 different branches, depending on what you want to specialize on. And you can explore also many other programs that they have to do as well with humanities, so they have to do with health science, for instance. And this one is bringing together as well more digital technology and humanities. Or about identities and cultures. As I say, this is just a few samples about programs that you can choose from. And you can see the diversity of the offering in Trinity. In terms of healthcare, there is a lot of different programs. So we have 23 different courses that they cover 4 areas, from biomedical and pharmaceutical science, health and healthcare, mental health, and imaging and physical health. If we talk about pharmaceutical science, companies like Novartis, Boston Scientific, Pfizer, they have made Ireland their home. So obviously it's a really good opportunity to study something linked to the pharmaceutical industry if what you plan is to develop a career in Ireland. The School of Nursing is not just the top school in Ireland, but it's usually around the top 50, if not the top 20 best School of Nursing in the world. And you also have many different master programs that you can choose from. As I say, these are only just a little bit of a sample, but you can look in detail in our web page. You can send me as well an email anytime you want. So I'm pretty sure that you can find something that it can get you excited to apply for in Trinity. But now, actually, how do you apply to Trinity? How do you become a Trinity student? The most important thing is the academic grades that you have. And you have to make sure that you meet the minimum requirement when you apply to Trinity. Otherwise, it would be very difficult that you get an offer. I talk to many students that you have maybe some very low grades in your primary degree, but then you have a lot of working experience. Working experience, it can be an advantage for some programs, but for other programs, it can be a disadvantage. So it's universal that in general, you have to have a good GPA. we say that you require the equivalent of 2.1 in the IELTS system. How this translates? In most of countries, it's around 3.2 out of 4 GPA. In Turkey, it's not exactly like that. In Turkey, if you are in one of the top universities in the country, where you completed your degree, typically it's around 3.0, the minimum requirement. No, actually 2.8. And if you're coming from a normal Turkish university, it's usually 3.0, because we're aware that the marking in Turkey can be very, very tough to get something like 3.2 or 3.3. So the equivalent is a little bit lower. Then you need to check as well the English requirements, which you have in front of you is the minimum English requirements for any programs, but some of the programs, they may require a higher level of English. And on top of this, depending on the program, you may require to have a particular degree, to have an interview, to have to present a research proposal. You have to check this one by one. The application system typically opens in November, and every program closes at a different time. Many of them actually close by the 30th of June, but many others, like computer science, by the end of January, usually there is no places. And one common pattern for most of our programs is that we assess applications on a rolling basis. First come, first serve. So the sooner you apply, the better, because programs get filled up. Don't get relaxed if you see the 30th of June, because if you leave it for too late, maybe no places anymore. You have to submit the transcript, the proof of English, the 2 letters of recommendations, which in this case, you don't provide the letter. You have to give only the name and the emails of 2 of your academics in universities, in your university. And my colleagues from admissions, they will actually contact your referees asking for the references. Another thing that you have to do is a personal statement, which is very straightforward. What you need to prove is that you have done your research about Trinity, about your program, and to tell us why you think that you are a good fit for both, for Trinity and for the specific program that you're choosing. In front of you, because money matters, you have an approximation about what you can expect to have to pay for the programs. For masters, they change quite a bit. So you can have some masters that you can pay 11,000 euros, and then all the masters you may have to pay 23,000, 24,000 euros. And some of them, exceptionally, that you have to pay even more, like the MBA, that will be over 30,000 euros, or some masters, particularly for dental science. But most of the programs, they go between 11 and 23. And what you see below is, on top of that, you have to calculate approximately that you will need to have for covering the cost of living almost between 16,000 and 17,000 euros. And that will include the rent, food, commuting, insurance, and anything else that are not your fees. Scholarships. We have a scholarship, but they are partial scholarships. So they are applied as a discount on the fees. The Global Excellence, which is less than 5,000, is maximum is 5,000 euros. Usually it's a little bit less, and you apply it to your regional manager. In this case, it will be me. So you will have to send me an email with all the documents that you require. And if you are doing a program that is within STEMs, so within the natural science, computer science, or engineering, within the E3, that is the umbrella that I was telling you before, you can also apply for this scholarship that they are valued between 2,000 and 10,000 euro, also applied as a discount on the fees. You cannot get both of them. If you get the Global Excellence, you won't be awarded the E3, and vice versa. Also, I encourage you as well to check scholarships with the specific school, because sometimes the school you're going to apply for, they may have scholarships that I'm not aware of. And this is everything from my side. And now I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. I'll go to the chat group to see what we have there, and I'll be trying to help with any queries. This is my email. I'll be more than happy to hear from you absolutely anytime. And the QR code that you have there on your right-hand side, this is important if you really want to consider to apply for Trinity. If you register now and you are not planning to apply for 2026, then probably you will get 1 2 emails just say thank you very much for registering, and we hope that you can keep in touch. But then by the time that you should apply is when this becomes critically important, because you will have an email that we will tell you, if you are still interested in Trinity, now is the time to apply. And because we assess applications on a rolling basis, this is so important, because if you leave it for you miss the application opening, sometimes some of the programs will be closed, but if you didn't apply in time. I'm going to count 3 and I will remove the slides so we can talk. I don't know if you can open your microphone, otherwise I will answer the question that you have in the chat box. But most importantly, thank you so much if you have been until now with me. I'm looking forward to meeting you, some of you at least, face-to-face, either in Turkey or in Ireland. 1, 2, 3. I think I'm stop sharing now. Okay. I'm going to open the chat box, and I believe that there is quite a few actually questions. So the first question is about the scholarships, and you're talking about psychology. I don't know about psychology, but you need to contact the School of Psychology in case that they have any scholarship, particularly from the site. What I can tell you as well is very competitive, but worth trying, is that there is a scholarship for master students that is called the Government of Ireland Scholarship. The way it works is the government gives the students 10,000 euro for living cost, to cover the living cost, and the universities of Ireland will waive the fee, so you don't have to pay any fees. There are 60 of these scholarships every year, but they are very competitive. To give you a sample, Trinity, usually we have 4, 5 every year of these scholarships, and we have usually more than 400 applications. To be an applicant, you need to have an offer already from Trinity. So that means that you will be competing with around other 400 applicants that they already have an offer from Trinity as well. So it's around 1% possibilities for you to get it, but worth to try. I mean, it's a very good one. The Tuna is asking about how many hours a week will I be in timetable teaching. This is depending on the program you need to teach, but there is usually a little bit of a balance. Sometimes you have big classroom with many students, a small class, and then there is a lot of self-learning. But depending on the program, they can be more or less hours. So you should check online for the timetable that usually is public. How expensive is the area? I think I answered to that one in the presentation. What is the visa ratio for Ireland? Actually, the visa, it depends what you're talking about. If you're talking for higher education, particularly for Trinity, if you apply and don't make any mistakes, usually it's 100%. So higher education is a priority for Ireland. And obviously, if you're coming to Trinity, the top university in the country, you should have no problem. A different story in Ireland is but that's completely separate. We don't offer English programs, but to learn English, I mean. But for English school, is very difficult to get a visa. But if you apply for higher education, and particularly for Trinity, you're very, very safe. What unique opportunities does Trinity provide? I think I answered most of it during my presentation. So basically, you will be studying in one of the top English-speaking universities, English-speaking country within the European Union, in the world. So you will have a lot of opportunities for jobs as well, because of all these multinationals here. And Ireland, as a country, has a very unique position, because you're part of the European Union, but at the same time, you have very strong links with the UK and with the US, which is very, very unique. About facilities on campus, I think I answered this one as well. So the club societies and everything that we have talked about. Is there mental health support? In the list, if you saw the support that we provide to students, We have a service of counseling, and we actually have a clinic as well, not particularly for mental health, but also for any other illness that you may have as well. Are courses at Trinity more lecture-based, or do they also include group work and practical projects? Everything. It's a mix of everything, and also depending on the program. How does Trinity help students? Okay, some more questions are coming when I'm reading, and they keep jumping. So, yeah, they say, how does Trinity help its students to connect with alumni and industry professionals for networking? In many different ways. If you remember, where I was mentioning before, we have a very good career service. So this is the first thing that you should get in touch with. Our academics, many of them, they have a very strong links with the industry that, as I say, many of them, they are just around the campus. Some of the programs, actually, they have the possibility to link as a part of your project, something with the industry as well. So if you are proactive, obviously you are a master student. It's not like we're going to go and give you a job directly, but if you're proactive, there are many different opportunities to tap into as a Trinity student, but also it will depend of what master you are choosing from. What clubs or student associations are the students involved with usually? There are, as I mentioned before, 120. So anything that you are interested in. And this is also an opportunity as well, actually, to get moving if you want to develop your career. You can look for a society that is related to what you do. So you have an entrepreneurial society, you have the law society, you have a society for international relations. So if this is what you want to expand your career, is great. But also for any hobbies that you have or skills you want to develop, you have so many options. What are the applying regulations for international baccalaureate students for mechanical engineering? So we're talking about undergraduate here. For IB students, any IB student need to have at least 3.5 at higher level, 3.4 at the standard level, and then usually engineering for next year it may be 33 IB points, around that, and you need to have mathematics at high level. But if you want, please send me an email, Fusion, and I'll be more than happy to help you with that. And I think this is the last question I have. So thanks a lot for your presentation and knowledge about it. Thank you very much, Idris. That's very kind. And you say, what is your application rule about for work for mechanical engineering as assistant professor? Okay, this is very specific. Anything that has to do with working with a department, you need to approach them directly. Sometimes I believe if you are coming from the outside, these things tend to be more complicated. But if you apply and you become a master student, that year will be an opportunity for you actually to get to know the academics in Trinity, to approach them, and to figure it out how you can have these assistant professorship opportunities. How about if a student have a 2.9 GPA or 3? Are they still considered? As I said before, actually, yes. So if you are in a top university in Turkey, 2.8 will be the minimum for any program. And if you are in a regular Turkish university, it's 3.0. So you can apply. It's not guaranteed that you will get a place, but you will meet the minimum requirements. Jagis is asking about the scholarship I mentioned, the Jean Monnet. Yeah, it's the Jean Monnet scholarship, and you can check it online. And it's managed by the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Turkey, but it's with money from the European Union. It's a fantastic scholarship, and we are very lucky because Trinity tends to be one of the preferred universities in Europe for Jean Monnet students. Can you write contact info for further questions about the IB students? I think, Fuson, I put my email in the slides, but if you haven't taken it, I'm going to, I think I'm going to share for everybody my email. But let me know if you get it. Otherwise, Zeynep may be able to help me.
Yes, we received it, so I will share it. Okay.
Fantastic. So Zeynep, I don't think there is any more questions, yeah?
Yes, thank you very much for the great presentation, Antonio. We received a lot of questions and you covered them all. Thank you for your answers as well.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and thanks to you, to all of you for joining today. And there is a lot to take all the time when you have a university giving a presentation, and I'm pretty sure that if you are a little bit more advanced in the process and you really consider to apply, you will have many other questions, and in a few months, many other. So the most important thing is that you get a bit of a feeling about the opportunities of Trinity, what are the conditions that you have to meet, the cost involved, and you have me as well. So you have my email, and I will be delighted to hear from you anytime. Anyway, teşekkürler to IEFT, teşekkürler Zeynep, and to all of you as well. Thank you so much.
Teşekkürler Antonio. Also, I would like to thank the participants in Turkish as well. Katıldığınız için teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar. Umarım sizin için de faydalı bir webinar olmuştur. Trinity College Dublin ile ilgili diğer sorularınız için chat kısmında paylaşılmış olan mail adresinden Antonio'ya her zaman ulaşabilirsiniz. Bir sonraki webinarlarımızda görüşmek üzere. Thank you very much again, Antonio. It was a pleasure to have you in IEFT Talks.
Thank you. Bye. All the best.
Take care. Bye-bye.